Hello and welcome to Holobody Reset and Balance. My name is Lena Simovic and I am a certified Mind Valley and Ever coach. I am so grateful for you. I'm grateful that you are taking the time to help yourself be the best you that you can be, to improve your health and wellness, to come to a place of balance, to reset. And let's start off by doing some mindful breath work, okay? So I'm going to ask you to sit up straight in your chair or sofa, wherever you are sitting. Make sure you have your feet on the floor, on the ground, and make sure you're in a place where you're not going to be disturbed with minimal noise, disturbances. And close your eyes, put on some, a blindfold if that helps. And sit with an erect back. And we're going to do something called a box breath. Maybe some of you are familiar with this. We're going to breathe in for 4, then we're going to hold for 4, then we're going to breathe out for 4 and hold again for 4, okay? And we're going to do a few sets of these, okay? So maybe 3, 4, 5 sets, okay? And ideally what you want to do when you're breathing in, you want your belly to be expanding, okay? And when you're breathing out, you want to be pulling your belly towards your spine, all right? So let's get started and I will direct you. So we're going to breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll breathe out for 4. And here you'll be pulling your belly in towards your spine. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, we're going to hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale again with your belly expanding. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold again for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now just go back to your normal breath. Normal breathing, that is. And we're doing this to start off in order to come to a place of balance and calm, to get the nervous system reset, because our breath controls our nervous system. And when we are breathing in a calm pace, we are more balanced. We are actually in a place of more ability in terms of learning. We are able to absorb more. We are more relaxed. I'm hoping you are as relaxed as I am. And now let's begin. So week 1 we'll be focusing on identifying and letting go of old patterns. We're going to talk about our body journey, old patterns and beliefs, habit awareness, and something called body talk. We'll start with some definitions. As you know, throughout this course, there will be some terms that you may or may not be familiar with. So I'm going to just scroll through these slowly, but you can always stop the video and, take a closer look. And I'll be scrolling up. Moving on to the next slide. Next slide. And I'll be scrolling up. I do want to clarify under proteins, just because it's a little garbled. Proteins are macronutrients that support the growth and maintenance of body tissues. They are the backup fuel after carbohydrate and fat fuel run out, and they are the building blocks of your organs. Okay, now let's move on to the next slide. So Holobody is all about transforming your body into the full expression of what it wants to become. Okay, we're going to be getting more into that, but that's a little explanation into Holobody. And of course, it's a holistic process. It's a holistic journey, a holistic transformation. So there are a couple of core questions here that I'd like you to answer. And I encourage you to have a journal with you so that you can be not only taking notes, but answering these questions. Since this is week one, session one, we are going to be answering a lot of questions to start so that you get to know and have more clarity around where you're at, where you're coming from, and ultimately where you want to go and be. So core question number one, how do we help ourselves and others develop permanent positive change in health and in your body? So, but we're going to be focusing on ourselves, okay? We can always, inspire others via our own transformation, right? So, many people have chronic diseases such as diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, etc. And they're usually caused by the way we lead our lives. Our bodies are often suffering, or decaying when they should be flourishing because, we might not be taking care of our bodies. Many people aren't mindful, or, we take our bodies for granted. We think we can do something when, in fact, it's not necessarily healthy for us. So two of the areas that people usually think about that will help improve their health and wellness is either related to eating healthier or working out. In many cases, though, this isn't enough, okay? It's not, it's only part of the bigger picture. Our bodies are a whole system, okay? And that's why we need a holistic approach. So it's not just nutrition and exercise. There's all these different areas to take into consideration that affect our body weight and our health and wellness. There's physical activity, exercise, standing, sitting, walking. There's our environment, physical environment, city, office, where do you live? Where do you spend your day? Our physiology of our human body, our gut microbiome, do you have a healthy gut microbiome? Are you suffering with leaky gut syndrome? Are you sensitive to, do you have insulin sensitivities which could lead to this? Is your body, do you suffer from inflammation? And then food consumption, what is your nutrition? Do you, eat healthy foods, food production? What type of foods do you have access to? Do you consume organic and non-GMO foods? And then there's social psychology, your friends, your family, who do you surround yourself with? Do they tend to be positive and optimistic people, or are they a little more negative? And of course, personal psychology, your own beliefs and your own thoughts. Do you have negative? Do you speak negatively to yourself? How do you live your day? What are your beliefs? What are your patterns? And then the second question is, why do you want to transform your body and health? This is, some people call this the big why. Many people can't accept the body that they're in, and they try to force it into a shape or form that they prefer it to be in. But our body has its own intelligence, and we can force it, but it's better to listen to our bodies and to work with our bodies. Okay, so whatever approach or whatever reason you're here, which is, your core question number 2, why do you want to transform your body and health? Whatever that reason is, you want to do it in harmony with your body. All right. And we're going to approach it using a holistic approach. I'm going to show you a chart here that shows what all affects our health and wellness, and a lot of times, obesity, these are all, you can see circled the 2 that most people usually think they need to change or need to affect in order to affect their health and wellness. While diet and exercise are extremely important, there are all these other factors, everything. And I'll give you, there will be a link at the end with resources that you can follow to get a clearer table, as this one's a little fuzzy. But there are so many things that impact us, from media and social impact, psychological, economic, of course, food and activity. But all of these are different areas, individual psychology, social psychology, individual activity, environment, food consumption, food production, individual physiology itself. These are different components. And as I said, at the end of this lesson, there will be a resources slide that have all the links that you can go to study up more, and get more detail on this, these topics. So moving on here. Holobody awareness, okay? We're going to discuss biomarkers and intention, all right, in context. So in your journal, on a piece of paper somewhere, you're going to create this table where you're going to be recording your biomarkers. And there are 4 biomarkers that we're going to be using. Your waistline, you're going to take a photo of yourself, and you're going to also be doing a body fat percentage, and then measuring your body weight. And you want to start with your first one being today, when you start this program. And this chart says 1 month later and 2 months later and 3 months later. But since this is a 8-week course, you can put, 2 weeks later, 4 weeks later, 6 weeks later, and 8 weeks later. And then, of course, as you continue to integrate this into your life, ideally, you can add, 3 months later and so forth. So biomarker number 1, your waistline, shows you how much visceral fat you have. And that visceral fat basically is the fat that you have around your organs. This biomarker is very important. It's very much correlated with longevity, because visceral fat is what often causes inflammation. Individuals who have too much visceral fat around their organs tend to, because of the inflammation, suffer from things, caused by inflammation, like rheumatoid arthritis or diabetes and other illnesses. So you want to minimize the visceral fat. And again, visceral fat is different. It's the fat from around your organs, not the fat that hangs outside your body, like, for example, a muffin top or something like that. And then, of course, the biomarker, your photo, your second one, second biomarker, your photo. The third one is the body fat percentage, how much fat you have in relation to lean mass. Lean mass equals total mass minus the mass of fat. And there is an optimal body fat percentage. For men, it's between 10 and 15%. And for women, it's usually 15 to 23%. How to measure your body fat percentage. For men, it's you want to get the measurements around your neck and your waist. For women, you want to measure your neck, waist, and hips. And once you have all of these measurements, you want to enter them into a calculator to find your body fat percentage. This link that you want to follow to get to the calculator, and also directions on how to measure your waist, are at the end of this lesson. Again, it's on the resource slide. So that link will be at the end of this lesson for you, okay? So you can take note of that when you get to the end of the lesson, all right? So a couple of big ideas from this particular lesson that I want to capture with you is, I want you to take note of what is your current state. What is your current state? How is your health? How is your fitness? Your overall wellness. And what is your intention? Where are you wanting to go? Where do you ultimately, what is the best you that you want to get, to get to as a result of this? What is driving you? What is your intention? And then I also want to bring your attention to other biomarkers. Okay, so real quick though, I want to just mention these numbers, the body fat percentage and your body weight, don't worry about them. Just, don't get hung up on them. So, record them and don't focus too much on them, especially, like the body weight. Too many people get stuck on that. And when in actuality, for example, muscle weighs more than fat. So sometimes, the scale might, register a higher, weight, when in actuality, you may be more fit, so just a note to not all, get hung up on these things. we want to, the point of doing this is to see what happens, as we move up forward, across time. We want to see what happens to these numbers as we measure across time. So, and, when you measure, make sure to measure in the same way. And if you have, you can also do a DEXA scan, DEXA. A lot of health institutions have these DEXA scans, and or a big gym might have a DEXA scan, but you have to make an appointment in advance, and it costs money. But a DEXA scan will cover everything. It does the weight, the body fat percentage, all of that. So it's something to consider. But again, it costs money, and you have to make an appointment. And it might not be, you might have to travel a distance to get to a location that has one. So, and then finally, optional biomarkers are, if you have issues with blood pressure or blood sugar, you want to add this to your table, okay, of biomarkers, to track and see how your blood pressure is improving, how it's changing, and how the blood sugar is changing and hopefully improving. All right. And again, some notes and reflections for you to make in your journal around all this. And next slide here. Now, before we go, let's see, to the questions. I want you to get still again for a moment, all right? Close your eyes. And the answer, you're going to be answering these questions, but I want to ask you, with your eyes closed and, in a quiet state, in a mindful state, what is going on in your life right now? And what do you want to transform? Why is that transformation important to you? What sorts of things do you think you need to do? And how ready do you think your body and mind are for that transformation? Sometimes closing our eyes and getting still, being mindful, helps us focus better. It helps bring things more into focus, it gives us more clarity. At least, it does help me. So if it helps you, when you're journaling, you might want to do that. So these are the questions. You're going to be answering these questions in your journal, right? What is going on in your life right now? Where do you put most of your time, your money? Where does your excitement lie? Like, what do you do? What excites you in life? What is your passion? Number two, what do you want to transform in your life right now? Where is your, desire of transformation? Like, what is the cause? What is your intent? Where is it coming from for, this intention for transformation? And why is that transformation important to you? What is that desire serving? What do you think you need to do? What are the actions you believe you need to take to transform your health? And finally, how ready do you think your body and mind are for that transformation? All right, next slide. So we're going to be now talking about the body relationship journey. I want to know, I want you to ask yourself, what is the journey you have taken with your body until now? The term disassociation means you are not your body. And a core distinction is around this body journey is we don't want to master the body. We want to master our relationship with our body. Okay? This is where we start to become mindful of what we are doing and how we are acting and how we are engaging with our body. So what I'd like you to do here, all right, this is an exercise. This line, this horizontal line, you're going to be drawing a line on a sheet of paper, and make sure you have a lot of horizontal space, because basically this line represents your lifetime so far, okay? So whatever age you are, whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and so forth, you want to make sure that this line represents your entire lifespan thus far, okay? So what we're going to be doing is plotting points, high and low points of your relationship with your body. So ultimately it's going to look like mountain peaks, you know, like you're going to have a high peak, then a low peak, and it's going, you know, kind of going to look like, you know, those graphs that go up and down, kind of like an EKG almost. So you're going to start at the left, starting from age 0. And you're going to divide this graph up into, you know, maybe you want to go by 10 years, you know, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so forth. And then you're going to plot the points above the line that are positive points, that are times in your life where you've done good things for your health and for your body and for your wellness, you know, for your fitness. And you're going to plot points below the line where you maybe have done things that were not helpful, that were not healthy, that maybe you were, you know, maybe there was an accident or an illness, places where there have been difficulties. And you're going to plot those points and the date, okay? And you know, it should correlate with your age on that horizontal line, you know, right below that age or above that age, okay? And then, for example, if there was an illness or an accident, you're going to plot a point above the line showing, you know, the therapy and the steps you took to correct it, you know, if you took steps to correct it, you know, if it was an illness or an accident, injury, whatever. So you're going to plot points below the line that were instances, you know, in your life that were the down, you know, the more difficult times in your life. And then above the line, you're going to plot points that were, you know, the positive steps you took to correct that, to move your life forward. Okay, so ultimately at the end, you will have something that looks like an EKG, you know, with mountain peaks, things like that, okay? So you make sure again to have a sheet with a long enough horizontal line so you don't run out of space. That happened to me. Okay, and that is lesson number 2, the body relationship journey. When you're done with plotting your high and low points of your relationship with your body, please share your journey with a family member, a friend, or, you know, someone someone that cares about you, that is a supporter, that is a cheerleader of yours, that will hear you. It would be a good idea while you're on this journey to have a partner, you know, someone that you can be accountable with. Of course, you know, you can be accountable with yourself, but it always helps to have someone, you know, there for you that you can bounce these things off of, and just someone that's there to support. So if you have that, that is fabulous. Okay. Otherwise, if you don't, that's fine. You can, you can also, as we move on towards the end of this, later on in the lesson, you can do this with yourself. You can speak with yourself, look in a mirror and talk to yourself, and journal, of course. So anyway, but share this with someone if you can. At the least, make sure to record it. All right. And now we're going to be moving on to the next slide here. These are 12 questions to help further gain clarity on your body relationship. Okay. So you're going to be answering these questions in your journal. Do you create goals or set visions for your health in your body? Do you know what your food allergies or any allergies, sensitivities your body might have? Of course, people have food allergies like nuts, seafood. A lot of people have insulin sensitivities, which causes bloating around the stomach area, the core, around the gut. As I mentioned earlier, leaky gut is associated with this. Number 3, how do you make eating and exercising decisions? Number 4, do you feel appreciation more than insecurity, or is it the other way around? Number 5, do you feel safe and at home in your body? In what circumstances do you not feel safe in your body? Can you openly talk about your health in your body? And if not, what is it that is difficult to talk about? Are you comfortable showing your body? Do you feel comfortable to express sexuality? What are things that you say or do to your body that you would not allow other people to say or do? Do you accept your body in the way it is, or are you trying to change it so that you can be happy with it? How does that relationship make you feel about yourself? And finally, what is the purpose of this relationship at the moment? Okay, so you're going to answer these questions and journal about them in your notebook, your journal. And now we're going to move on to old patterns and beliefs. There was a doctor by the name of Maxwell Maltz who wrote a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. Now, he was the first researcher and author to explain how the self-image, a term he popularized, has complete control over an individual's ability to achieve or fail to achieve any goal. And he developed techniques for improving and managing self-image. Visualization, mental rehearsal, and relaxation techniques, which have informed and inspired countless motivational gurus, sports psychologists, and self-help practitioners for over 50 years now. Okay, so, vision boards and things like this, visualization, it all stems from Dr. Maxwell Maltz and his coining of psycho-cybernetics. Cybernetics is the science of communication and automatic control systems in both machines and living things. It's our own patterns and beliefs that keep us stuck in our status quo. So let's look at a couple of examples here. Okay, there's Carlos. Let's talk about Carlos here. Carlos is regularly tried to lose weight, yet he always believed that his body would easily accumulate fat. It would be something he saw as a given. Thus, he would regularly experience the yo-yo effect and get back to his, eventually he'd go back to his original body weight. And please forgive, it says Jojo there, but it's yo-yo. So he had a belief that, no matter what he did, he would just go back, he would just put the weight back on, he would go back to his original body weight. And then there's the story of Maya. Maya had a lot of health conditions as a kid, and so she would get a lot of love and support while she was sick. And as she grew up, she would often let her health deteriorate until she got support and love from her family. So we're looking at these stories as examples to help us spot patterns. All right. When you fail or repeat a cycle, what is the story you tell yourself? Maya's pattern was I tried, then I gave up, then I give up until I'm in a desperate position. And only when my body is about to give up is when I take action. Carlos's pattern is I can transform, but then I lose control over my eating. So, I go back to my original weight. Other stories could be, I don't get started because I failed before, or I get started, but then I try so many times that I get lost and I don't know what to do from there. Or I get so obsessive that I need to escape and I never fulfill my journey as a result. You want to look in this exercise, you want to look for stories of failure. So the question you want to ask is, after you find your pattern, you ask, why or what do I need to believe so that this pattern, to create this pattern? What are my beliefs that create this pattern, that gives this pattern the ability to continue? What are the beliefs behind this? To help us in spotting old patterns and beliefs, you're again going to be drawing a little table in your journal. On the left, it should say patterns, actions, and behaviors, and then on the right, supporting beliefs. So you're going to write down 1 to 3 moments in which you've tried to improve your health but have failed. You want to identify the story, all right? This is what usually happens, such and such, so and so, details, Number 3, for that action that happens over and over again, or lack of action, what is the belief that would need to exist for this action to continuously occur? Number 4, as an alternative, imagine someone whose health is in an optimal state. What do they need to believe to be living in this state? So if their health is optimal, what are their beliefs? What could their beliefs be that they are so optimally healthy? And number 5, fill in the table below with your findings. And again, if you have someone who's in your corner, a cheerleader, please share these with them, because it just helps. It gives writing. Journaling is step 1. Of imprinting. And becoming more clear of what's going on in your life and with your patterns and behaviors. But it also always helps. It's another layer when you can discuss this with someone, especially someone who has your back. So I'm going to cover some archetypes. These are just some archetypes around individuals with certain patterns, and behaviors. There's the archetype of the unchosen one, who gives up very quickly or doesn't even try. Their supporting belief could be something like, it won't work because I've tried before, or because it's not for me, etc. Then we've got the archetype of the punisher, who gets started but can't maintain the commitment and journey. Usually they give up halfway through. A supporting belief could be fitness and healthy lifestyle is a punishment. And then we've got the selfless caregiver, who gets started but always falls off the bandwagon because there is something more important to be done. Their supporting belief could be putting myself first is selfish. I'm not worthy of the effort, or something like that. Then there's the archetype of my struggle is my gift, who only acts when feeling bad. Their supporting belief might be, if I feel better, I will lose all help and support. If I'm weak, I need to do less work. If I transform, I won't fit anymore, or I won't fit in anymore. Then you've got the archetype of the survivor, who neglects health and body or destroys it because they have been let down. Their supporting belief might be, my body can take it, or my body deserves punishment, or I don't need to feel great. My needs are not important. Some other archetypes. My body is not my business. Someone who outsources the care or doesn't take ownership over their health. They want somebody to tell them what to do, works with lots of different ideas, but nothing cohesive. A supporting belief might be feeling tired is normal, or the doctor will fix it, or everyone does it. Then the archetype of fulfill my wishes, who burns out from over control, experiences the yo-yo effect. Again, here it's yo-yo, not JoJo. Supporting belief might be when I change my body, I will feel happy, confident. My body is there to serve my needs. And then you've got the archetype of the controller, who's so obsessive with their health that it becomes unhealthy, very rigid. Supporting belief might be I need to optimize my body in every single moment in detail. This disease runs in my family. If I don't do this, I will die. So, so on and so forth. So make notes, journal, hopefully maybe, these archetypes will help. But, create this table in your journal and go from there, okay? And I just want to show you, maybe this will help a little. This is a chart that, here are all the archetypes. So it's patterns and beliefs, and all of these on the yellow line are the archetypes from top to bottom. And then in the blue bubbles, are the explanation of, are the patterns. And then from that stems or is connected the belief, the beliefs come out of or create the pattern. So maybe you want to create a chart like this, right? So you look at the archetype, try to figure out which one you might be. At the least, focus in on your patterns, and then from your patterns, ask what are the beliefs that create these patterns. And that, again, the beliefs are in yellow. And then even, you can even break those down further, the beliefs further. So I'm just looking here because it's not very clear on there. So for example, under that first patterns, under that first beliefs, so it says, the first one is for unchosen one. And the pattern is start and give up or doesn't even try. The belief is it won't work. And the one underneath it, it's not for me. Out of it won't work, you can break that down further, failed every time, or it's about more forward than backward, or, whatever comes to you, whatever it's connected to. And then the belief, it's not for me. I'm the exception, which breaks down further into my body has a problem, or my body is not the healthy type. And then you can further break down into it's not for me. I will never eat healthy food, or I don't have the motivation or discipline. So just as an example to show you that you can, break down these beliefs even further. You want to get at the core as far as you can. All right. So hopefully this will help. So again, you have the archetype. And again, if you can't figure out the archetype, that's not important. What's important is that you uncover the pattern and the beliefs behind the pattern, okay? Now we'll move on to the next lesson, habit awareness. So a couple of big ideas from this lesson is with habits, sometimes we're stuck, in these habits that aren't helping our transformation or goals. And I want you to identify the current habits that are in place, all right? So when you scan your day, what are some daily habits that aren't helping you? When you just think about it, you know, take a few moments to think about that. For example, food choices. What food choices are you making? Exercise. Are you exercising, or is there a lack of exercise? What is your sleep schedule? Do you get to bed late? Are you on social media before you go to bed, which interrupts the sleep? Blue light, as we know, it interrupts sleep. Don't try to change anything yet. This is the point of this is it's awareness around the habits, okay, around your habits. So, we want to understand them first. What leads you to choose the behaviors you've found so far? And can you identify triggers to those habits? If you have trouble finding the habits, reflect on the following. How do you start your day? Like, do you meditate in the morning? Do you just jump right out of bed and go straight for the coffee? How do you end your day? Do you spend time on social media on your phone or on your laptop, or do you just, do you write in your gratitude journal and go straight to sleep? Or what are your habits regarding meals right now? Do you have any habits? Do you eat 3 times a day, or do you binge eat? Do you allow yourself that? Do you eat junk food whenever? So you want to look at these things, and you want to create here's another table that you're going to be creating in your journal. You want to list the habits on the left, and then the trigger that causes that habit, that leads to that habit, and then at the right, if there's a particular time that it's correlated in the day, morning, afternoon, or evening. So you want to look at all of these things and jot them down, record them, and so that you get a little more clarity around your habits and the triggers. A question here that will help is, what does your body say no to, but that you do anyway? Like binge eating, for example, or, eating potato chips when, maybe, like in the middle of the night, or ice cream in the middle of the night, or maybe you're exercising too much. Maybe you're exhausted, or you're working too much, and you're not listening to your body, and you're not sleeping enough. You want to be aware of these things. So please record them. What is your body saying no to, but you do anyway? You can, our body speaks to us. We get signals from our body, and this is about, the purpose of this lesson is to help you get more in touch with your body, and thereby gain more clarity, and have a better relationship with your body. And as a result, long-term, have better health and wellness. So you want to listen and hear your body. If you get signals from your body, heed them. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. Okay, so this is body talk. Body talk is you getting into a place of stillness with, and mindfulness, and getting present with your body. Okay, it's put simply, it's a relaxed conversation with your body. You can do body talk by writing it down, or even talking to yourself out loud in the mirror, right? Body talk is a tool that, might be uncomfortable and awkward at first, but it's absolutely worth it, okay? So you want to find a quiet place and have your journal with you. And if you are able to, sit in front of a mirror and tell your body, what you have not been aware of before, or that you're aware of now. Share with your body what, you'd like to share. Maybe share your gratitude with your body for how it's taking care of you, and if you've fallen, how it's helped heal the scars. you know um, how it's so how it listens to you. When you eat well, when you eat something that is nutritious, how it your body registers that. Or or when you don't, how your body may feel. And maybe you want maybe you want to apologize to your body and say, I'm sorry for taking you for granted, and I'll do better. And maybe you want to journal and talk with your body about agreements that you'd like to make, moving forward. What do you want for your body and for your health ultimately? What you want to ultimately create a healthy and joyful experience with your body. One where you can really tune in, and what your body wants, what your body doesn't want. And in doing that, and learning that, your journey will be that much easier. So, share these things with your body. Journal how your relationship is developing. Ask your body, what is the thing you need me to do so you can heal, or anything else that comes to mind. Okay. This is a very sacred practice. And again, it sounds, it might be cheesy feeling in the beginning, but after a few days or a few weeks, you'll really start to feel like you need to talk to your body. You need to connect. You need that connection, because it just creates that much more of a solid foundation overall, in your health and wellness moving forward. And now I will show you that screen, the slide with all of these resources that we've touched upon. So the first one is a research paper. You remember that map, the systems map that we looked at, where there are different things that affect our health and wellness, and our fitness. So it comes from a research paper, and the first one is the link to the research paper, and then the second link is to better, more high resolution to that chart, to that map of all the different things that affect our, health and wellness, besides nutrition and exercise. And then the links to the calculator for body fat percentage, and also a link to how to measure your waist properly. And remember to always take the measurements the same way. And then these are just optional books that you might be interested in reading. You can search them online and order them or not, whatever resonates, but they may be helpful on your journey. They might speak to your past, your present, and maybe to your future. So I am going to wrap up. We are going to wrap up session 1. I am so thankful that you are here. I am excited for your journey. And be easy with yourself, be loving with yourself, do all of the exercises that we've covered, use these resources, and I will see you in lesson number 2. All my best. Until next time.